I almost ruined this painting until I added the secret highlight. Be the lantern that guides others through the shadow. From that quote, I'm sure you already guess what we are creating today. So let's get started. First, I'm going to go on the basic outline. I like to draw these initial lines first because they help me decide the exact shape and size of the lantern. Setting up these guidelines makes rest of the drawing so much easier. Now I'm adding the curved lines to give the lantern its realistic shape. If you're finding it's tricky to decide where the curve should go, I definitely recommend keeping a reference photo nearby to help you out. For this painting, I'm using acrylics. I have picked out three main colors: red, yellow, and light blue. So let's start by the creating basic layer. I'm taking bit of water and mixing it a tiny amount of red to create a light wash. I'm applying it this to the background around the lantern. I've decided to go with the two color backgrounds. So using watercolor style, using that same technique, I'm going to apply the blue. But here the little trick, I'm mixing bit of red into blue to create a deeper and darker tone. This gives the background more depth and make the lantern stand out. Now that the background is done, I am moving on to the lantern metal body. I'm using blue mixed with just a hint of the red to darken the tone. I will apply this to the handle, base, and the top section. I'm not covering the entire frame with blue. I'm intentionally leaving the some part unpainted. This empty spot will act as a natural highlights and making this metal look shiny and metallic. So next I'm creating a very thin waterly shade by mixing the red and teeny bit of blue. I'm applying it this wash to the glass but only to the certain parts. This create a realistic reflection on the surface. To the finished glass, I'm leaving the center empty. That's where our flame will be. Now I'm mixing yellow red together. I'm starting with a very light and waterly wash to create the base of the flame. This will give us that first layer of soft light inside the glass. To make fire look real, I am taking a darker and more concentrated shade of that mix. Instead of long stroke, I am tapping the brush gently right in the center. I am also using this dark shade into some part of the metal body. Now I'm taking some dark blue and mixing it with just a touch of the light blue. We are going to use this deeper shade to add the shadow and the final details that make the lantern looks real. I'm carefully applying this color to the handle, upper section and the base. Take your time here by adding this dark accent in the right places. We are creating 3D effect that gives the painting its structure. Notice how the dark shadow works with the light spots we left earlier. This contrast is a secret to making the flat drawing looks solid and metallic object. It's all the details. One very important tips: be extremely careful not to get this dark color on the glass of the lantern. We want to keep that area clean so our highlights can really stand out and shine later. I'm also adding the dark shade to the thin rim at the base. These teeny details might seem small, but they are what makes lantern looks lifted and realistic. Now I'm taking some light blue to hit the area where the light naturally strike the lantern. I'm applying this to the top, the base, and along with the handle. This helps transition dark shadow into realistic and metallic shine. Using the same light blue, I am carefully drawing this protective wire that cross over the glass. These thin light are the small details, but they add so much character to the vintage look. Now it's time to create handle. I'm mixing it my own gray by adding just teeny touch of black into some white. Mixing your shade like this gives you much better control over the tone. I'm using this gray to define the top handle, even though it's a small part of the painting, but neutral gray helps it to stand out against a colorful background and in the blue body of the lantern. We are almost finished for the final touch. I'm using pure white for add highlights. I'm placing this whatever the lights will hit most. To create extreme depth, I'm using the black sketch pen, and this helps me to define the part that need to be darkest, giving the lantern a sharp professional look. So I really hope you enjoy this process from simple sketch to this growing guide. It's all about the layering patience. Thank you for the watching and see you in the next video.